The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties. From Stephen M. Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow at Ridgefield High School, it's high school lacrosse on the HAN Network. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rob Adams, and today, the Darien Blue Wave, the number 1 team in the state of Connecticut, will take on the Manhasset Indians, the number 2 team coming out of New York State on Long Island in Class B lacrosse. Today here at Tiger Hollow. It's game 1 of a doubleheader, the Battle of the Sound, and really a heavyweight battle when you get right down to it, at least for game 1. These two big-time teams from right across the Sound from each other. Should be a really good one here today. We'll see what the FCAC can put up against some of the best from Long Island. Game 2 will come up a little bit later on. The hometown Ridgefield Tigers will take on the Trojans of Garden City High School. It's the Battle of the Sound here at Ridgefield High School. AJ Simonowski joins me for game number 1. Eric Gendron for game number 2. We'll get it all started. Lineups, we'll put the ball in the air, and we'll get underway right after this. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or go to coastalorthoexpress.com. That's coastalorthoexpress.com. Like them on Facebook.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And timing is everything. Welcome into Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow. Along with AJ Simonowski, I'm Rob Adams. So glad you joined us for a Saturday afternoon doubleheader lacrosse. The Battle of the Sound here on the HAN Network. And indeed, in game number 1, it will be the Darien Blue Wave taking on the Indians of Manhasset High School. And AJ, a good afternoon. Everybody's been talking about the same thing, with one minor complaint, maybe the wind, but otherwise a glorious Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely beautiful at Tiger Hollow today. I am thrilled to be in the press box for this game and not down on the field like I was earlier in the week.
It was chilly earlier in the week when we were here. Sunny, but still very chilly. Today, you can get away with the shirt sleeves. Certainly up here in the press box, you can, even with the open window, which, by the way, I see we did get that all squared away for you. You have a beautiful view of the field today.
Definitely. I can actually see the game.
So the teams will take the field in just a moment. National Anthem has been completed, a very nice version done by the Ridgefield Symphony Orchestra, but we are waiting for the teams to come out. Darien will take the field in the white tops and bottoms with the blue numbers, the block-style blue number, as is their tradition. And if you're from out of the area and you say, well, duh, of course, they're the Blue Wave, of course they're going to wear blue. Well, not so fast. They occasionally will work in a black jersey for some of their various sports. So don't always assume that you'll see the blue.
I think most games we have covered the Blue Wave, they've actually worn black.
Or it just seems like it. For the Manhasset Indians, they are decked out in colors that would almost make you think they're the hometown Ridgefield Tigers. However, that's a navy, not a black. It's orange and navy.
That's just a stylish-looking uniform.
It is a very nice-looking uniform, in fact. Was on the field talking with both coaches, Darien's head man, Jeff Braymeyer, and for Manhasset, Bill Cherry, and they were telling me that they've been doing this series going back to 1996, even some years when Garden City, which we'll see later today, was involved as well, and some other schools out in Long Island. You certainly love seeing Long Island and most notably the FCAC, but certainly Connecticut lacrosse, always very good, but the FCAC really among the best, let's be honest.
True, and I'm excited to see this one. We know through some research I've been doing earlier in the day, Manhasset, one of the best teams in the country. Garden City, no slouch either. Teams that I have never seen play, but I'm excited to see what they can bring.
Of course, they come out for the introductions and the conversation with the officials before we get things started, and the handshakes will take place. And that's what you are checking in on right now.
This will be as pleasant as things are between these two teams for the next hour or so.
It is, as both coaches told me, a rivalry game. And again, with them going back some 20 years, you can understand that. Brendan Haggerty will run down to our left, and he'll stand in net. And off to our right goes Ryan Cornell. Making note of that on these wonderfully laminated rosters we were given before the game today.
These are a genuine treat.
You did get emotional. I got emotional too, but you actually hugged athletic director Carl Charles here in Ridgefield when you saw those. And not that I blame you for that matter.
Not ashamed to say that I did.
I don't blame you. And away we go. As it comes over to the near side and goes out of bounds. So happy you're joining us on the HAN network. It'll be scooped up by Jack Miller for the Manhasset Indians. You will not find a whole lot of Native American nicknames in Connecticut anymore, though there are a few to be found heading out towards, say, Montville on the east side of the state. In fact, we saw Josh Fisher, John Kovach, and I a few years ago spied what you would call the Cleveland Indians logo on some of the paraphernalia worn by Montville. That is because, well, Native American, plenty of Native Americans out on that side of the state. This will be thrown back out near center. And it'll turn back the other way. But for sure, as Darien will take it, moving from right to left, for sure, still in New York, and a lot more public high schools in New York, still some Native American names, and there are some Native American towns. So Manhasset goes by the Indians. And as we've told you, up this way, just to our west is both Mayapack High School in New York. They're still the Indians, as are John Jay New York of Cross River.
Do you have an affiliation with Mayapack, Rob?
Not that I'm aware of. Class of 1987. Not at all. Heading off to the side goes Finley Collins for Darien. No score. And 25 seconds gone. Yes, a proud, still live in Mayapack and graduated almost 30 years ago. Fed down low, spinning around. They'll go behind with Jack Niffen, the senior. We talked to Jack Niffen during our FCAC tour. One of the captains for Darien. Fed across. Low bouncer will be sent back behind, and Niffen will go and try to collect it. With no score and 10-13 to go. Just a little glare coming off the scoreboard makes me have to really look closely at it to make sure I see what I see correctly. Niffen feeds back out, waiting the blast, and that got pushed aside. My laminated roster keeps slipping around on me. That was Jack Book for the Blue Wave. I did tape it down, though.
You are sitting in front of the open window.
I am. A little bit of an issue. Back the other way come the Indians to the near side. 10 yards out, make it 15 yards out. Turning around is Kevin Mack, a junior. Guarded by William Simpson for Darien in a scoreless game, just underway.
Bit of a cautious approach on this this possession for the Indians, but they were bringing in at least 3 subs at the time. So content to play a little bit of keep away as they got the rest of their offense on the field.
They'll feed it all the way around. Steven Schneider waits, a junior. 6'1", 170. Almost dropped down to a knee. He'll feed it near side. Go all the way back behind. Again, far side. Played by Mack. An occasional whistle will be heard. There's a JV game off to the right. So don't be fooled by the errant whistle. And we'll try not to as well.
I almost was, I admit it.
Best thing to do is just glance and see what the players are doing. Have they stopped? Okay, we'll keep going. That's the safe play. Moving in goes Kyle Cherry, a senior. But it's taken away by the long stick of Mark Ivanchik. And fed all the way back out And across the line to Rock Stewart, the senior. Stewart brought it near side to Colin Minikis. If you've watched enough HAN Network broadcasts, a lot of these Darien names are going to seem mighty familiar. To that end, I kept Frank Granito off the call today. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Fed on net, and the big save made out in front by Haggerty. 7:49 to go in the opening stanza, and no score. Manhasset and Darien here on the HAN Network.
It was a tricky shot. I think it was Jack Niffen who took it, tried to go upstairs on Haggerty, who just had none of it.
Schneider went left side. They'll play a game of catch. Looks like Cherry on the far side. It is. The font on the style of the numbers, nice for Manhasset. I really like it. Fed back out. Schneider waiting there.
Not the easiest to see from way up here at essentially Ridgefield High School.
Wonderful facilities here at Ridgefield. We've talked about so many times. This place is about a decade and change old now. The refurbished Tiger Hollow. And the ball turned around and sent back.
John Silos out there in front of the net, not able to corral the centering pass.
Stephen DePretta, a senior. Rather, I beg your pardon. That was Riley Stewart, excuse me, for Darien. Push back near midfield. And we'll get a whistle to stop things. 6:42 to go, first quarter. No score, game 1 of 2, the Battle of the Sound. They do not, however, get to win the Sound. It's not that kind of a battle.
That would be a heck of a trophy.
Would be fun, wouldn't it? Here's your aquarium. Congratulations. Off to the near side. Turning around, Silos. Backs it out to Ryan D'Amico. They go far side and a scoreless first. Possessions fairly even with an edge to Manhasset as that's blasted wide.
I'd say somewhat of a questionable shot. He didn't really have the angle on that one.
No, not the best angle for sure. A work at 20 yards out. Dancing in Schneider sends it wide. But as it happens so many times, you're kind of trying to find a rhythm to a game, and feels like we're not quite there yet.
No, both teams still trying, feeling each other out, seeing what they can do.
Moving and turning. Now stepping back toward the near sideline. That's Jack Keogh for Manhasset. He'll slide down with Rock Stewart on him, and a whistle will blow, and they'll turn it the other way. So now Darien will bring it back out. And I'll tell you a guy to keep an eye on if you're unaware. Most people are aware around the FCAC for sure. Keep an eye out for number 41, because Mark Ivanchek, who will play lacrosse, as great a football player as he is, and he is the state sack leader, career record holder, as it's turned back around. The long stick of Ivanchek is not afraid to get offensive as well. He scored last year in the state championship game. The official got knocked down right at the pylon. He climbs right back up unfazed. It's all part of the game.
The pylon itself is okay.
Nice that you were concerned. Niffen with a good look. Passed on the shot, will go behind the cage. No score, 4:25 to go in the first. On a sunshiny Saturday.
Wise move for Niffen to pull that one back. He was all by himself against pretty much the entire Manhasset defense.
We'll bring it to the near side. Here's a blast on net, and they score to get things going. Jack Book, the blast, 1-0.
Beautiful shot from Book from the keeper's left side of the cage, came back to the opposite end from about 15, 20 yards away. Rocket ball.
So 1-0 with 4:03 to go in the first quarter here in Ridgefield. And Darien grabs the lead. Controlled initially by Darien. Tanner Strub handling the face-off. Now they'll go far side Niffen. I knew I smelled a cup of coffee, and it smells mighty good. Not that you were concerned about that, AJ. I just thought I'd pass it along.
No, but I do smell it now. Seems to have a bit of hazelnut in it.
It's a bit nutty. Stepping back and turning around, and off goes Manhasset. It's a 1-0 Darien lead, and turned right back around. And down with a flag, that was Riley Stewart. By the way, Darien considered the home team for this game, if you're going by the scoreboard.
And it looks like it's Ben Sorella, the offending party for the Indians. Sent off for the home run swing to the gut of Riley Stewart.
59 degrees as we got things going today. The wind out of the north at 10 miles per hour. And you can hear it whipping around. Of course, here in Tiger Hollow, you're in a bit of a valley, so you're going to get that kind of crosswind at times. This is lifted around and bouncing over toward the far side. Grabbed away by Niffen on the nice move. Niffen takes a look behind the cage. Setting up on net! And able to push it aside was Haggerty in the defense.
How?
I don't know how. But
how did he do that?
But it was athletic for sure. All the way out goes Haggerty. He's a good 25 yards out of the cage.
And compliments must be paid there to Colin Minikis, who somehow got the one-handed shot off as he was falling down. Heck of a play by both sides.
1-0 here, 2:19 to go in the opening frame. Darien on top. Later on, you'll see the orange and black of Ridgefield. And certainly I always enjoy that combination, the orange and black, but this blue does pop.
It's a little bit different. It's not a combination we're used to seeing.
As it's turned back around the other way, down goes Hudson Hamill, and the bouncer makes it 2-0.
That one from Minikis counted. Right over the head of Brendan Haggerty.
So Minikis from Hamill. And 2-0. The first one I would imagine, and we don't have anyone down field side today, but I would imagine there was a crease violation, and that's why, because the ball went in.
That would have to be the call.
And it'll be taken right back by the Blue Wave. They'll send it all the way back to Cornell in a 2-0 game with 90 seconds remaining in the first. I meant to ask how long the drive was for Manhasset to get here, or certainly for Garden City. Not a short trip today, and I understand there are some traffic problems down in New York.
I have to imagine these young men woke up very early this morning.
Manhasset was here right around I'd say about 11:45 they walked in. Maybe a hair later. They'll go behind the cage, will Darien with Minikis. Minikis, now Niffen. Niffen sends it back out. Stewart. Stewart moves. Switches from the left to the right-handed shot. Out to Liam Richmond, the senior. Sends it down, it gets away and goes back behind. It'll be Manhasset ball.
Really just a low pass there from Richmond. Nothing Minikis could really do about it.
2-0 the score. Sent 20 yards back out. I have to eventually tweet the picture I took from before the game. Seconds after we got handed these laminated rosters, I think my tears may still be on them. This is a blast that goes wide from Schneider. I would fully encourage us to invest in a laminator after seeing this. 2-0, back out, 20 yards. That blasts over the net. So they'll reset. And the first will come to an end on that note. 2-0 after one. Book and Minikis with the goals. We take a break from Ridgefield High School. We'll come back with our score. Darien 2, Manhasset 0. You're watching the FCAC Boys Lacrosse on the HAN Network.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances. Where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Until April 30th, choose $150 cash for a Smeg toaster when you open a MyBankwell Choice checking account with a minimum of $2,000.
Join the HAN Network and Make-A-Wish Connecticut to help make travel wishes come true for local kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Donate your unused airline miles to the HAN Network Wishes in Flight campaign. Over 70% of wishes granted involve travel, and your unused airline miles can help make kids' dreams become a reality. Plus, once you donate your miles to Make-A-Wish, they will never expire. Donate your unused miles and help the HAN Network share the power of a wish.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
Back here in Ridgefield, Rob Adams, AJ Simonowski with Eric Gendron directing, Josh Fisher on social media. And let's see, I am aware of the presence of Mike Suppi, Rocco Veluzzo, Steve Buno, and Marty Hersom.
I think that's everybody.
Thank you. Most of the time I write it down. I hadn't had a chance to write it down yet. 2-0 after one. The Blue Wave are back on the field and ready to go. The Indians now rejoining them.
Bit of a quiet first quarter overall. The score only 2-0. I actually think Manhasset has the lead on shots, though. Unfortunately, they haven't been very good shots.
But nonetheless, in we go to quarter number 2. A largely Darien crowd. As you can imagine, the shorter drive here.
Not to say the Indians are unrepresented, though.
Oh, no. And they will travel. Both these Long Island schools will travel. Manhasset from the North Shore. Beautiful town. They'll go back behind the net as we get quarter number 2 underway. Work the ball around. Sending it back off to the left from Hudson Hamill. They'll get the numbers that they want, bring it down. Here comes more Darien looking for 3, and that gets blasted just a hair high.
Finley Collins with the shot. Looked like Haggerty did get a bit of a stick on it.
Plenty of games going on today, in fact. And a very good one tonight on the western edge of Greenwich. I'll get to that in a moment. Turn back around as they try to. They all scrum for it. Unable to come away with it. And finally, it is Darien. Kevin Lindley. They'll send it back behind for Niffen. Niffen gets in close, tried to throw it, and he did throw it, but it went well wide. 10:41 to go, first half, 2-0 Darien.
He had the angle, he had the right shot, he executed the shot well, just not on the net.
Arguably the second best team in the state and one of the best in the country as this goes wide again. Besides Darien, the New Canaan Rams. They'll take on another top-flight program, a private school, the Brunswick Bruins. They'll play at Robert L. Cosby Field tonight at 7 o'clock. Have you had the pleasure of working a game at Cosby Field?
I have not.
I like Cosby Field. It's a terrific place. Send it 25 yards back out. Little deke from Collins bounces away and taken away by Gillen Caliendo, a junior.
I want to point out Edward Arnold there actually looked like he got his stick on that pass, deflecting it away, causing the turnover.
Bouncing away, and William Simpson trying to come over and play it for Darien. He will. Sends it all the way back out with a blast out to Rock Stewart. Stewart to Hamill. For some athletes, it makes our job nice and easy when they wear the numbers we're so used to them wearing. Hudson Hamill being one of them. He has been in 22 for as long as I've known that young man. That's what he wears on the football field as well, and he made one heck of a catch in the Turkey Bowl FCAC championship game, and he's looking for a goal, and it's Minikis to make it 3-0.
Excellent work there by Minikis as he's coming towards the net, receives the pass, shoots back across his body, and is able to actually hit the far side of the net. What else can you say?
No, not much more. 9.5 to go in the first half. It's 3-0. Give the assist to Kevin Lindley. So 3-0. Of course, a tight FCAC championship football game, and most of the games between Darien and New Canaan always are anyway, but a championship game for the Turkey Bowl once again just brought the drama out. And Hamill made a touchdown catch in the late part of the fourth quarter that would give the Blue Wave a 7-point win over the New Canaan Rams, 28-21. He had to climb the ladder to grab the touchdown pass from Timmy Graham, and that secured the championship for the Wave. The Wave football team, one of the 25th best in the country according to USA Today. And the only New England team. Are you New Canaan born and bred, by the way?
I am not. Lived there most of my life,
okay,
but not born there.
Sent on that and off to the side. I noticed how quiet you were during that conversation just now.
I was trying to keep it professional. I'd rather instead talk about the great save that Brendan Haggerty just made.
You always do keep it professional. I'm just kidding. Back out the center it goes. Turn back around. Chris Glenn for Manhasset. They need to get on the scoreboard. Down 3, and they do! That's a way to answer. Kevin Mack makes it 3-1.
Kevin Mack saying, okay, Colin, you can take a nifty shot, so can I. Underhanded that one across his body, able to hit the top right corner of the net. Whew.
So a top shelf shot makes it a 3-1 game.
And Rob, as you can see here, you can see it here on the replay. This kind of goes with the underhand scoop shot.
Yeah, that was a beauty.
Get it past Ryan Cornell.
So now 3-1. Darien will look for more. Riley Stewart. They'll feed it back behind. That was Strub initially off the faceoff. And they respond! Kevin Lindley goes and celebrates with Niffen. It's a 4-1 game.
Exactly what you do not want if you are Manhasset. You finally get on the board, you get a little bit of momentum going your way. Darien strikes back immediately.
18 seconds is all it took. And it's now a 4-1 game. $8:19 to go in the first half. So Manhasset will take it. Most of the face-off wins have gone for Strub and the Blue Wave. This one, an errant pass that'll be taken down by Cornell, the junior goalie. And in transition, they're looking for more. Tic-tac-toe. Lindley, 5-1. I mean, AJ, you can't do it any better.
No, you can't. That is exactly how you catch the defense off balance. Ball movement before they can get set. And Lindley's all by himself in front of the goal.
And a timeout and needed. 7:54 to go before halftime. Darien 5, Manhasset 1. As we'll watch this again.
Connolly off to take that ball. Not the best ideas. There was a lot of Manhasset offense around him.
But look at the way it gets moved down quickly and the feed to Lindley and bang. That's the way you do it. 5-1, 7:52 to go. First half. We're back right after this on the HAN Network. Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network. Back in Ridgefield, Rob and AJ, you said you had a note. What were you going to bring me?
It's useless, and I love useless statistical patterns,
Don't
Rob.
we all?
Every goal so far scored by the Darien Wave has been from a player with a 3 on their jersey.
Hard-hitting analysis from AJ Simonowski.
I always bring my A game, boys.
That was outstanding. 7:54 to go first half. 5-1, Blue Wave on top. The Indians could use an answer of their own. Taken down on the near side by Liam Mullen. Let's see what they do off the timeout.
Falling down, Liam Mullen is not what you want to be doing.
No. And the Blue Wave will take it off that. To the far side and across the line. From left to right goes Darien. They're in the white, Manhasset in the orange. Lindley with a couple of goals. Now played by Riley Stewart. Near side, Jack Niffen, the senior. Jake Kirby was on as well. Fed down low and almost a one-timer from Niffen.
He was in position, just couldn't corral the pass.
The captains that we had during our FCAC tour, in fact, were Niffen, along with Hudson Hamill, as well as Mark Ivanchik. And it really was one of my favorite interviews we did, and we conducted well over close to 150 interviews in total for all the groups. And I'm told we had initially reported 444 athletes, but I'm told by Kate Chaplinsky that the number is not accurate. It might even be more because she found some sheets that didn't get counted. This is thrown right back on net, and the save made by Haggerty.
Actually, two big saves right there. The first one off of his chest pad. Darien able to get the rebound. Second one ended up in his stick.
The point being, for those of you out on Long Island, we're the official broadcaster of the FCAC and went to all 17 high schools. Moving around in our HAN Cruiser, the rig as we lovingly call it. Toured all over the area. Of course, Nassau and Suffolk are their own beasts. Lovingly, I say that because I've visited both and love them both. I've not been as far west on Suffolk County as I would like to. I've not been all the way out to the end of either fork, for that matter. Back behind the cage. Little bouncer. Grabbed by the Blue Wave, trying in transition. Couldn't control it, and now maybe they can. But a whistle stops things back. A good 30 yards away from the play.
Like Jack Niffen being called for the offsides there, if I can guess the referee's pointing.
No reason to not guess. So they'll set things up again. Getting down close. Scooped and picked up by Haggerty. In transition, gets it to Schneider. Then tripped up with a flag down as Hamill came in, and the frustration on the face of Jack Niffen. 5:38 to go before halftime. It's a 5-1 game. While we have a moment, and the tweet went up just a moment ago, I want to make sure that everyone here on the HAN Network, and I think you're all okay with me representing us in this spot, wishing a happy birthday to one of our favorite people and really one of our truly best friends in this business, and that's our buddy Sean Saylor.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Sean has worked with us as part of the crew, as a broadcaster from time to time, as a statistician. He will just show up if he's ever in the area, sometimes just to hang out with us. Just a kid who loves sports, and kid just in terms of the fact that he's much younger than me.
There's not a role on our crew that he has not fulfilled.
Put down on net, and the save made by Cornell. 5:05 to go in the first half in a 5-1 game. You can see the tweet, in fact, that was sent out by Josh. You can see it at HAN Network CT. It's a picture of Sean and I on the FCAC Tour, in fact, at Fairfield Ward High School. And Sean is no doubt apologizing to me about something, and I'm yelling at him because that's the kind of friendship we have. He is 21 today. Lord help us. To the left side, they look for more. Ronan Garcia. Now Jack Keogh, the junior. Back behind the net, and they get one. Looked like Kevin Mack again to get on the board and make it 5-2.
I will freely admit, Rob, I could not see how that ball went in. Too many bodies in the way of the net, but it doesn't matter because it did go in.
It was almost like a golf shot. He had to go down low to throw it past Cornell, and it's a 5-2 game. So by all means, if you would be so kind as to go and retweet that, show a little love to our friend Sean today.
As we check out the replay here, Rob, you are exactly right. Bit of a golf shot, able to come near side and beat Ryan Cornell.
Along the near side. 5 yards out. Now they'll throw it way out. Lost the handle on it. Did Chris Glynn, the freshman. Then he gets it back, and the whistles will sound, and a timeout spent by Bill Cherry and the Manhasset Indians. Comes with 4:07 to go in the first half. AJ and I will take a break, and we're back right after this in a 5-2 game. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Chop off your knives to be sharpened. Grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Alberto Londano Professional Painting, Wallpapering, and Carpentry has been serving Fairfield County for over 20 years. Based in Norwalk, Alberto takes pride in his work by offering you only the best quality service and products. Call Alberto today to get a free estimate and be one step closer to a new and exciting home makeover. 203-866-9635.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Back at Tiger Hollow, 5-2 the score. This facility that really can do so much. I mean, if there's about the only thing about it is trying to get to it, because there's only the one access road in and out and the parking lot all up a hill.
Yes, and that's really the only knock on it. But otherwise, they could host anything here.
They just about could, and maybe even should at times.
Put a basketball court down.
And then the other knock really isn't their fault. You can't blame Ridgefield, at least Ridgefield High School, as this is put on net, and Max got a hat trick. Back to 5-3.
Kevin Mack really putting the Indians' offense on his shoulders at this point. Takes it himself from behind the net, winds up almost a full 360 kind of spin, and is able to beat Cornell on the top shelf.
Just to finish the thought, they finally got a cell phone tower within view. We can see it right to the right of our window, but that still does not mean that internet and cell phone service are optimal, shall we say.
No. The good news is you could make a call if you had to. That's about it sometimes.
Depending on your carrier.
That's true. Not all carriers represented on the new tower.
5-3 the score, 3:44 to go in the first half. Darien again with a face-off win. Tanner Strubb, just a sophomore, but doing a solid job. Off to the near side for Christian Trafone, and the bouncer goes off to the far side from Minigas.
Minigas all by himself there with a wide open look at the net, but just pulled the shot a little bit off to the right.
A scan of that Darien roster, and we have seen almost all of these athletes at one time or another here on the HAN network for sure, between football and hockey alone.
Saving grace for me, I don't have to guess at any of the pronunciations because I know them.
Does help, doesn't it? Here's Finley Collins. Collins sends it wide. In fact, I just spotted Eddie Glassmeyer's name on the roster. Not in the game right now, but the sophomore played a big role on the Blue Wave state championship winning hockey team that just finished up their Division I title about a month ago. Shockingly, that is about a month ago. They beat Fairfield Prep to win that title and become the #1 team in the state. Put on net. And now, no, hit the crossbar. Yes, they're going to say it went in. Yes, it did go in and then bounced back out.
Darien with the nifty ball movement again.
I'm hoping we'll get a replay to see, and we will.
Eric gives us the thumbs up, which is good because I have no idea who took that shot.
But we're gonna get a look at it to see who scored the goal. Now that's Hamill. Hamill goes over to Minikas.
Deflected out.
And it looks like it is going to be Jack Book. So 6-3. And Jack Book with his second.
Hit the crossbar and came down over the line.
That's what mattered. So a 6-3 game and 2:42 to go in the first half. So just when the Indians had cut it down to 2, the Wave able to answer again. And it is now a 6-3 game. So they'll just work the ball off to the near side. Jack Miller. Now Kyle Cherry. Cherry out for Schneider. Schneider to Cherry. Cherry sent down, and the save made in the net of Cornell.
The save and able to control the carom.
However, the pass errant and taken away. And they'll get it back out to center. Bring it across the line with Edward Arnold, the freshman. Down the left side, moving, long stick, scores! There's some love in the crowd for Manhasset. It's a 6-4 game.
And Rob, just like we saw here on Wednesday night, the offensive attack with a long stick forces the goalie to play things a little bit differently. The ball is coming in from a different angle. Cornell wasn't able to find that one. As Eddie Arnold was able to bounce it past. That's a heck of a play. And I would be remiss if I did not thank Frank Granito for teaching me that.
We'll see Frank again this week. We have baseball coming up on Monday from Danbury High School, in fact. Another busy week for the team. And off to the near side with 90 seconds to go in the first half.
Ryan D'Amico for the Indians had to put on the Jets a little bit to get away off the opening draw.
Luke Pastiglione, a junior. Sends it back and across. Down to 1 minute to go in the first half. Backing it out with Schneider, the junior, 20 yards out, dropped to a knee.
Actually did lose the ball for a second, but able to get it back.
Rock Stewart was draped all over him. And a big turnover to who? Stewart. Stewart in quick transition gets it to Minikis. And a flag down and the touch made with 32 remaining.
To say a nifty spin move by Minikis would really not be doing it justice.
Yeah. Down to the final 30 of the first half. Manhasset brings in Stephen Farrell, a senior defender, off the bench. And they work to the far side. Down low. Oh, that was so easy. Minikis again, his third.
And again we see Darien's precision ball movement, able to get it to the open man. Minikis again in this case.
So 7-4 and 22 seconds remaining in the first half. Another face-off win, at least initially, now taken away by Manhasset, so they do a good job of getting it back. A little scoop ahead to Garcia. Down to 7. They could use something right here before the end of the first half. That's not going to get it done, as Cornell will take the loose ball, throw it all the way down. Lindley, the save, tried to get it, and the horn sounds, and the half comes to an end. Oh, so close to an 8-4 game. Instead, 7-4 at the intermission.
Brendan Haggerty has single-handedly kept the Indians in this game. By my count, never accurate. He's already up to 7 whole saves, not even counting shots that have gone wide of the net. That's just 7 balls that he himself has caught.
End of the first half here at Ridgefield High School. Game number 1 of the Battle of the Sound, and so far it's working in the favor of the Darien Blue Wave. We're at halftime, and the Blue Wave have a 7-4 lead on the Manhasset Indians. We'll take a break, come back to Tiger Hollow for more action. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network. It was a great game, but it got messy at the end. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Kate, back to you.
Thanks, Rob. Well, speaking of messy, here's a story about how Triple S cleaned up a big problem for the HAN Network. Eric, let's roll that footage.
The HAN Network travels all over Fairfield County in our HAN Cruiser, covering news, sports, and entertainment.
And when we do, we make sure that our HAN Network branded floor mats are with us to keep the dust and dirt outside.
These mats get filthy, and there's only one company that can get rid of that kind of dirt.
Triple S, with locations all over Fairfield County. We're just now pulling into their Stanford facility. Rob, let's go see if Steve and Wanda can clean these mats up.
Wanda, Steve, literally thousands of feet have walked across our mats in the last 5 months in wind, rain, mud, more.
Is there any way you could make these mats look like new again?
No problem.
That's what we do here. Come on in.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stanford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
At the Sylvan Learning Center of Darien, experienced teachers and personalized academic support equals superior results. Our certified teachers uncover skill gaps, address specific needs, and help students realize greater academic success and increased confidence. We're enrolling now. Individualized after-school tutoring in reading, math, history, elementary math, algebra, geometry, calculus, high school science, and study skills. For a free consultation, call 203-655-3276 or email gmcsylvan@gmail.com.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well.
With the 24-month Bankwell Smart CD, you can earn 1.25% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
Are you hoping winter is finally in our rearview mirror? Can't wait for the air and water temperatures to start rising? Well, if the answer is yes, you need to get over to Darien or Westport and stop by the Dock Shop, where it's always summer. Both shops are being stocked with lots of new merchandise, including fishing tackle, marine electronics, boating supplies, and more. But remember, the Dock Shop isn't your average tackle shop. At the Dock Shop, you'll also find the finest selection of nautical apparel, jewelry, home decor, and gifts in New England. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Online at dockshop.com.
Join the HAN Network and Make-A-Wish Connecticut to help make travel wishes come true for local kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Donate your unused airline miles to the HAN Network Wishes in Flight campaign. Over 70% of wishes granted involve travel, and your unused airline miles can help make kids' dreams become a reality. Plus, once you donate your miles to Make-A-Wish, they will never expire. Donate your unused miles and help the HAN Network share the power of a wish.
what's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State.
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher.
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure every Thursday at 2 on the HAN Network.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network.
Want to learn how sponsored content can help your business? Let the HAN Network help. First of all, what is sponsored content? Well, it's a story, video, or other content compelling enough for folks to want to read it, view it, or interact with it, and it's sponsored by a business. We create this kind of content for clients all the time. We build an interesting story or video that carefully weaves your business's brand into the narrative. It might be a story about how the condominium law in New York State makes property taxes on condos much lower than in Connecticut. The sponsor is a condo developer in Westchester, New York. Or a video explaining the European roots of a cafe and yoga studio in Wilton. Or talking about the history of a brand, product, or store while showing its modern-day incarnation. Or even a poll that asks readers to answer a question that leads them to your brand. Let the HAN Network Content Studio build a story around your business.
Welcome back to Tiger Hollow, Lancaster Field. Rob Adams, AJ Simonowski, and the crew here. Halftime, Darien leading Manhasset 7-4. By the way, do you want to go back in time for a moment?
Sure, Rob.
Here at Tiger Hollow, Martin Carbone is one of their public address announcers. Today, it is not Martin Carbone. It is, in fact, Brian Dirth doing the honors. But we have a little treat for you. Martin Carbone actually is a friend of our very own beloved EP, Marty Hersom. And Marty went and did a little looking, and sure enough, found the 1988 Ohio University men's lacrosse club team. That is Marty in the top row with the circle, and down in the left, wearing number 22, Martin Carbone. As Huey Lewis once sang, back in time.
And somehow Rob got Huey Lewis in the broadcast. I shouldn't be surprised. And I can't say that I am, but kudos to him for doing that.
I keep waiting for you guys to assign me either words I have to work in or references I have to make. And I've had other broadcasters do that to me.
Eric and I have actually been working on a Rob Adams broadcast bingo sheet.
The easy one is a Scully reference, as always.
Well, you don't even make a specific Scully reference. You just mention his name.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That should be the free space on the Rob Adams bingo
That's what
card.
I was going to say. Halftime here, 7-4 the score. Book, Minikis, Mac, Lindley, Mac, Book, Arnold, Minikis. There are your scorers.
It's a really long law office name.
Yeah, pretty much. Other games going on around the region. Certainly for the FCAC, we'll read you the schedule. Baseball games today. Joel Barlow is at Fairfield Ward. Bunnell hosting the very same Ridgefield Tigers. Stamford is at East Hampton. Newtown hosting Staples. And New Fairfield is at Norwalk High School's Nathan Hale Middle School, in fact. Softball, Bullard Havens Tech is at Bridgeport Central. Norwalk hosting New Milford, New Canaan at Trumbull, and Newtown at St. Joseph. The other boys lacrosse games are Darien at Pomperog, McMahon at Trumbull, Stamford at St. Joseph, Kellenberg Memorial at Staples, Norwalk at Southington, Central at West Hill, Stratford home for Trinity Catholic, and we told you about New Canaan and Brunswick. Girls lacrosse games, Ridgefield at West Hill, Darien taking on West Islip at Cold Spring Harbor, and I heard that Darien won that game late by 1 goal.
By with
9
to 8.
That was the magic number.
Is what Eric was trying to signal to us, reported by Steve Buno here running a camera. Scored with 4 seconds left.
Warden Amity, Danbury hosting New Milford, Wilton at Greenwich, Bethel at Norwalk, New Canaan taking on Middle Country at Cold Spring Harbor, which is a Billy Joel reference. We always like that. And McMahon and St. Joseph. And yes, with Long Island involved, I've now worked in Billy Joel as well. My work here is done today. Good night, everyone. Second half, ready to go.
I hope you're not leaving, because I'm not going to call this by myself.
That would bring the Marty Hersom nightmare back to life, which was a funny conversation we had. Second half underway, Marty Hersom told us he once had a nightmare about hockey, to be exact, and that I believe it was that I lost my voice and he had to figure out how to call the game without me, because he was doing color for some reason. In any event, second half underway. And Manhasset really, they need to cut the deficit down to 1. I mean, you can only do it a goal at a time, AJ, I understand that, but every time they've scored, Darien has answered, as this one goes wide. So what I'm saying is, Manhasset needs a little bit of a run.
I think even before that happens, I think they need to start having some more consistent possessions. They haven't maintained possession for very long. They have had some issues passing, as the ball is intercepted by Rock Stewart, whose name I have wanted to say since the fall.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rock. Appreciate that.
Ryan Cornell will take it for Darien and throw it back out to center. Waiting on the near side. Jack Beeler for the Blue Wave as they send it across. There is Rock Stewart. Down the right side goes Jack Niffen. Niffen with a nifty move between 2 defenders. And this will roll back into the football end zone, staying with the Blue Wave.
But Rob, as I was saying, the Indians want to get a more sustained offensive attack going. The goal, if they can, the goals will come. But if they keep losing the ball, it's hard to score.
Exactly.
More deep analysis. I'll be here all day, folks.
You've done a fine job. We'll get you some more scores as we can. Here in the Battle of the Sound, and on net, and another.
Kevin Lindley again.
Lindley from Collins. And it's 8-4. Of all the scenarios for Manhasset, that's the one they least wanted. Staples leading in their game 10-2. Among the scores from today. Here it's now 8-4.
Tanner Strub, the Darien player in the vicinity there, was almost mugged by the Manhasset defense. And a flag thrown on that.
Look like lingering around. Is that Peter Conlon, 21, standing in the box?
That is Conlon, though I looked on the Manhasset sideline. It looked like it might have been Jack Keogh getting the talking to.
And Conlon is the one standing there, the junior. This clanks off and comes to the near side, so it'll stay with the Blue Wave in an 8-4 game, 9:49 to go in the third quarter.
Minikis with yet another open look.
And now to the far side, and another shot. That bounces away. The Indians 6-0 coming into the game. Opened their season with a 1-goal win, 12-11 over Smithtown West back on March 19th as that hit the bar. And back out comes Minikis. Minikis on net to Niffen. 9-4. Since that opening 12-11 win, they beat Lincoln Sudbury 8-5, Southside 11-5. Then they beat John Jay Cross River 11-9, a 10-5 win over Chaminade on April 10th, and then MacArthur Levittown 10-3 on the 13th. They still have Calhoun, Cold Spring Harbor, New Hyde Park, Garden City, Cary, among those still on the remainder of the schedule. Their schedule, in fact, wraps up on May 12th against Long Beach. Ball loose. 15 yards out. Lindley had it bounce away, but the save made by Haggerty.
Haggerty again with yet another save on the day.
And now the turnover to Niffen. Back out Hamill. Hudson Hamill dances around the men. Trying to find a cutting Lindley. It'll be scooped right back up and fed off to the near side. Hamill again. It's almost getting, dare I say, easy for the Blue Wave. They've looked really sharp. They have a 9-4 lead and 8:24 to go in the third.
Manhasset's defense just keeps letting people in front of the net uncontested. If you let guys get in that close, bad things are going to happen to you.
Hamill, 15 yards out, little nudge ahead, gets it back. Goes off to his right to Riley Stewart. Stewart moving, a blast. I mean, that was a bullet, but the save made by Haggerty. They turn it right back around from left to right. Chris Glynn. Now fed to a cutting Caliendo, and that's a goal. So back to 9-5 now. So Gillen Caliendo cuts it back to 9-5. And again, Manhasset needs a run.
That's the kind of an attack they have to get going. Quick strike, catch Darien off balance. They haven't gotten a whole lot of, penetration in the defensive zone using their normal attack. They got to start pushing the gas here.
Manhasset from Nassau County, just off the LIE, which is what the RV would have to take. We could all take the Northern State. A hair north and east of Lake Success. Route 25A, where it cuts right through the middle of it. It's a nice town.
This has been Rob's Geography Minute here from Tiger Hollow.
That goes wide. I believe Mike Francesa lives in Manhasset. I believe I remember reading that.
And Rob, that shot just a little off target there from Liam Richmond, but again, Manhasset not doing a good enough job of blocking the looks that Darien is getting.
They look for more and throw them back out. They'll come to the near side. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo just recently kind of started a conversation that had died back in the 70s, but continues to kind of move around. And now Governor Cuomo sticking his 2 cents in. The thought of either a tunnel or a bridge coming off of Rybrook and heading toward Oyster Bay to give some kind of another cross-sound option to get you from Westchester County out to Long Island. Of course, that has been fought for many years. Back behind the net, Mack dancing. Simpson draped all over him.
Kevin Mack is just wearing out the B button on his controller.
That might be your line of the day. Save that one. That was a beauty. Fed back out. Working in Schneider. Schneider lost it, and it's taken away by Christian Trafone for Darien. It's a 9-5 game, third quarter, 6 minutes to go in it. Off to the near side. Riley Stewart. Darien up 4 and looking for more.
Flag thrown back on the nearest 40-yard line.
I see it. On that far side.
Wait for Manhasset to get the touch, and we'll see what the call is.
Note just coming across from CBS Sports, and I'm sure plenty of these Manhasset athletes are fans, if not Darien as well, that Henrik Lundqvist will start for the New York Rangers tonight in Game 2 of their playoff series with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Lundqvist left Game 1 after the first period, a rather nasty injury, and revitalizing a conversation. Safety so important. Everyone has to wear a helmet, and that brings you back to lacrosse, but there are larger eye holes on his helmet that were able to cause a stick blade to go through the helmet, the mask, and causing him an eye injury, but he will play tonight.
Just makes me cringe hearing it.
Oh, it was rough to watch. I saw it live. Off to the near side. 5:15 to go, third. Turned around, and Manhasset will take it. They need something in transition, and Edward Arnold steps across the line. The freshman, the long stick, goes to the side, flag down. A feed, down on net, and the save made, and the stop of play. With Niffen in the box on the far side, and 5 minutes to go here in the third, he comes back out.
But I think they're going to get Logan McGovern there on the penalty. For the Blue Wave.
I believe you are correct. So would you be in favor of a bridge or tunnel taking you out to Long Island from up this way?
I have very few reasons to ever go to Long Island, so it doesn't matter that much to me.
See, I have friends out there. My good friends Mick and Gretchen and their baby boy Finbar living out in East Meadow. So for the record, yes, I would be all for it. And it would complete the once abandoned Route 135 project, which is far more than you need to know. But if you've been on Long Island, you understand what I'm talking about. Back out and to the left, Garcia. We cover all the bases. That's the idea. Quick ball movement. Bring it off to the near side. Garcia scrumming for it. Tipped around, trying to scoop it back up. Jack Miller was in on that. And Mack takes it away. Mack has been the offense.
Ball movement issues plaguing the Indians yet again.
And good defense by the Blue Wave. Ivanchik standing right outside the cage with Burke Blatney, the senior.
Shot deflected just over the net there by Cornell.
They will retain possession. 4:07 to go, third quarter. To the far side. A 9-5 lead for Darien. Blasted over the net by Cherry. And you'll get to learn all about Garden City in game number 2. Behind the net. Mack. That pinball's around. .340 to go, third quarter. Behind the net, Garcia. Sends it back out. 20 yards out, Jack Miller. Miller with Stewart on him. They play keep away as we come down to 3:20. We're in the third, still time, but a 9-5 game. Hit the crossbar! And it'll go the other way, back to the Blue Wave.
And a big missed opportunity there for Manhasset with the man advantage and the ball not able to convert.
And Darien will look to answer, and they've got it. That's a dagger. Jack Niffen, 10-5.
And it bears repeating, Rob, if the Indians are able to get a goal on that possession, you're looking at 9-6, down 3 with still a whole quarter and change to play. That is a manageable deficit. Instead, they turn it over. Darien comes right back. Jack Niffen with the rocket to the top of the net. Indians down 5.
Again, still time, but you have to at least recognize that the Blue Wave defense has been so good. And the procedure will turn it with the Blue Wave.
Actually, a little sad I haven't gotten to call Mark Ivanchik's name, but he just hasn't let anything get past him.
That's all. Christian Trafone had it. Taken back now by Lindley. Lindley throws it right over the stick, and Minikis has got it. Kind of bounces around and taken away by Edward Arnold. Arnold swipes at it. Now on comes Caliendo. A bright sunny day, 59 degrees when we started here. The wind was at 10, seems a little more manageable now. And they look for more. But Manhasset trying to cut it. They're down 5 and just about 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 25 yards out. They'll send it behind the cage. Right along that football end line. Throwing the little scoop. Looking and sent wide. And certainly this pro-Darien crowd loving what they see. Ralph Baldelli is the referee. Steven Sternberg is the field judge, and Lou DeMeo the umpire.
Ryan Cornell coming out almost to midfield with that. Untouched, unshadowed. Looked like he could have kept going. Probably decided wisely to pass the ball off there to Jack Book.
So the Blue Wave looking to tack more on. Niffen. Was trying to find Minikis. That'll go out of bounds.
Manhasset going to look for a little bit of life off the Darien turnover, but first they got to get it into their own zone.
To our right in the JV game, Manhasset just did something good because they were all jumping on top of each other. However, I can't spy a scoreboard from here. This bounces around. Loose and scooped up by the Wave. Burke Blatney will send it back the other way from Cornell. 10 seconds to go, as someone politely says in the third quarter. And in a crowd like this, that can actually be heard by the players. As it bounces around and sent back behind the net, and the third quarter will come to an end with Darien up 10-5. You know, many times you go into a 40,000-seat stadium, somebody yells something from the crowd, the players can't hear that. Game like this, 10 seconds, that could be heard.
I'm going to disagree with that, Rob, because I know when I am in a professional stadium, the players can actually hear me. This is a widely known fact. When you yell, they can hear you.
Thanks, AJ. Fourth quarter starts right after this. I'm not buying that from you. After 3, Darien 10, Manhasset 5. Come on back for the fourth quarter. It starts right after this. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or go to coastalorthoexpress.com. That's coastalorthoexpress.com. Like them on Facebook.
Join the HAN Network and Make-A-Wish Connecticut to help make travel wishes come true for local kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Donate your unused airline miles to the HAN Network Wishes in Flight campaign. Together we can share the power of a wish.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We start the fourth quarter here in Ridgefield. 10-5 the score. I'm Rob, he's AJ.
Hey everybody, how are you?
You can't hear Eric, but he's here. Can't hear Josh either, but you're reading his tweets. I'm willing to take a gander.
If you're not listening to us, I hope you're watching the HAN Network Twitter feed.
I think we're all worthy of a follow. We're interesting. Steve is on one camera, Mike's on another camera, Rocco's on the third camera. Marty is the glue that holds it all together, and that's the crew here. Fourth quarter getting underway. And Darien has not trailed in this game, and to be quite honest, they have been in control pretty much all along. 10-5 and 12 minutes to play.
Rob, I don't think it's much of a stretch to say that Darien has been in control the entire time.
And Strub, another face-off win. Boy, he's been good.
Even possessions in which Manhasset has scored, it's been an exceptional play on their part.
So 20 yards out and back out to Riley Stewart. Standing exactly 29 yards out. Liam Richmond climbs in. Back to Stewart. From Jake Kirby. And again back over to Stewart. They move in 10 yards out, back it out, send it across. Lindley. Lindley turns around with a flag down. Sends it back behind the cage to Niffen. Niffen, far side Minikis. Niffen again. That flag still down. 10:45 to go. Little underhand flip, handled by Minikis.
Of course, play will continue until Manhasset can get a stick or a hand or a foot on it.
Right. The delayed penalty call. 10.5 to go. The move in by Niffen. He backs out. Joined there by Arnold. Sends out. And that was enough of a touch to get the whistle, and the call made with 10:20 to go.
I was beginning to wonder if the referee would actually remember who the penalty was on. That was a very long time between the flag being thrown and Manhasset getting the touch.
Well, they've got the touch, and it's here with 10:20 to go. I believe it was a slash that I saw on the indication. Hamill. That pinballs around and comes over to the near side.
Crossbar with nearly as many saves as Brendan Haggerty today.
Fed back out. Near side Niffen. Down low. Oh, put aside as Logan McGovern tried to poke it home. So it'll stay there. Sent all the way back out. This gets away. So now Manhasset needs to get on a run with 9:37 to go. And they're chasing 5. Game 2, Ridgefield and Garden City, scheduled for 3:30.
Manhasset making an awful lot of substitutions, but not getting people back on as quickly. Only 4 players in the offensive zone as 2 subs come back in.
Playing a game of catch there. Schneider's got it right now. The junior, 6', 170, gets it to the near side. Trying to feed it through. Here's Ivanchik to scoop at it. Ivanchik fighting for it. Now he's got it. Bouncing off to the near side.
Importantly there for Darien, even though Ivanchik could not come up with the ball right away, he is big enough and enough of a presence there with the long stick that he kept the Indians from getting possession.
.8:28 to go in a 10-5 game. Ball behind the cage. Mark Ivanchik last November setting the state sack record as they're able to score. It's Jack Miller to get it to 10-6 with 8:12 to go.
And that's the kind of ball movement that Manhasset's going to want to get going if they want to cut into this lead a little bit more. Quick, accurate, Miller able to get the open look and put the ball home.
Miller, 5'10", 190, a senior. And now a 10-6 game. And still see Ivanchik coming around the left side, making that sack and setting the sack record. Replacing that of Dwight Freeney, who recorded a greeting from the locker room of the Arizona Cardinals, congratulating him. A special day, although Darien really took it to Staples that afternoon out at Darien High School.
Unfortunately for him, young Jack Speed was on the other end of that. Never saw him coming. Speed, another great name I have not had the pleasure to call during a game.
Andrew Speed, you mean?
Yes. My apologies, Andrew. I do know your name.
Here, Manhasset chasing 4. Backing in. Wanted more on that shot, but worked out. Fortunately, Jack Keogh able to get it back. Garcia behind the cage. Now Mack. Mack almost got knocked off by Stewart, and then the ball comes flying over here. You heard the big groan out of the crowd.
Hit the near side post, Mack did. Things just not going the Indians' way this evening.
Some in the crowd liked that call. Those from Long Island beg to differ. And 7:05 to go. And just missing was Niffen.
Really just to show you how much mustard Mac had on that shot. The ball ricocheted out nearly to midfield, untouched.
Looking for more, the Blue Wave. Loose ball. Swiping at it was Kirby. And Manhasset grabs it. That's Schneider. Schneider down, flag down. Schneider flips it ahead. Quick movement to Caliendo. 6.5 to go. It's not impossible. Mack. Mack trying.
Will Simpson will just not let Mac get open.
Behind the net with Keogh. I'm afraid to say that Manhasset in the worst way needs a, and forgive me, but they need a big Mac attack. And there is the whistle. Please forgive me.
I do forgive you, but it seems at this point, though, if anything's going to happen for the Indians, Mac is either going to do it himself or he's going to get it started.
So 6 minutes to go. It was a tripping call. And off goes Niffen, pleading his case. And a timeout with 6 minutes exactly remaining in this one. Manhasset needing a timeout. We need a timeout as well. 10-6 the score. Darien leads Manhasset. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with the Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com. I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
6 minutes to go, fourth quarter, 10-6 the score. Teams back on the field. Game 2 scheduled for 3:30. Off the timeout, a man up. Manhasset works the ball behind the net. Little flip ahead, bouncing around, scooping for it. Cornell comes away with it. And he'll bring it near side. Riley Stewart takes a check from Kyle Cherry. Goes down the left side, outside the numbers. Flag down. Stewart takes a check from behind, again from Cherry. And that goes just wide by Lindley.
Brendan Haggerty, who has played exceptionally well for the Indians today, was caught out of position there. Lucky that Lindley wasn't able to put a better shot on it, or we would have had 11-6.
See who's making their way over to the box now with 5:12 to go.
That would be Jack Miller, the guilty party for the Indians.
Yep, he does take a knee. Some do, some don't. Now a timeout. A clock issue. And there is the indication.
Clock is running.
5:01 to go.
Jack Niffen back on after paying his debt to society. Thank you, John Kovac.
The ball movement by the Blue Wave. Fake. Near side. Losing the handle on it, and Manhasset comes away with it. A big spot for Manhasset with 4.5 to go. It can be done. They work the ball ahead, now behind the cage. Here's Mack. Didn't take the shot to Schneider. Jack Miller, 4:12 to go. 10-6, Darien on top. Schneider again. Schneider trying to get around Christian Trafone, and it goes back behind. 4:02 to go. A nice crowd on hand here for sure. The visiting bleachers empty, but here on the near side, plenty of people enjoying a beautiful Saturday afternoon. The breeze about the only thing to complain about.
It has certainly filled in since the opening draw.
And some of that having to do with, I'm sure, people getting ready for game number 2 as well. Trying to save it. It does go out of bounds. Nice effort by Christian Trafone.
The whiff and the wipeout, and the Indians get the ball.
But it all looked good.
Yes, it did. I do have to give Christian credit for that one.
Christian, of course, part of that football dual championship, FCAC and state. Working in close. Now backing out. Fed over. On net and wide from Miller. Along the near side and 3:13 to go. Schneider.
The road is long and the time is short for Manhasset. They got to get something back.
Garden City and Ridgefield await. Down close, but loose as it was knocked away. Blatney was right there. But it'll stay with Manhasset. Now 2:51 to play.
As you said, Burke Blatney able to just get a little bit of his stick on the Manhasset player. Just enough to cause the errant shot.
Ball loose. Schneider scoops it up 20 yards out. 2.5 to go in a 10-6 game. Tried to throw it past Trafone. It was deflected. And the turn sends it back the other way. A good job by Will Simpson, who's had himself a game today. Scooped right back around and taken back by Manhasset. The flag had to fly off of that. His body's flying around and 2:10 to go. Some will say bad call. Some will say, no, that was perfectly fine. And it looks like it will be Ivanchik going off with 2:10 to go.
Rob, hard to tell from here, but Jeff Braymeyer, if that's who that is yelling, is not happy with the call.
I didn't see if it was Jeff screaming or not. Jeff Braymeyer in the vest with the white shirt underneath, if that's who you were spying.
That is who I was spying. Coach Braymeyer, not happy.
Not a fan. And here's a goal. So Mack makes it 10-7. So now a 3-goal game and 1:57 to go.
Mack, again, as we said, Rob, he seems to be the point person for the Indians' offense, but with just under 2 minutes to go, is it too little too late?
Big face-off here.
As the JV Indians head over, cheer on their elder classmates.
And a big face-off win, but a bad turnover. D'Amico had won it, but instead it's in the hands of Jack Niffen. 1:42 to go. And they do come away with it, feed it back the other way. There's a whistle. So instead it's going to stay with the Blue Wave. Hudson Hamill will go pick it up with 1:35 remaining, a 10-7 lead. Darien on top of Manhasset. And this rivalry that has been going on for 20 years now, right now looking like it's going to stay with the Fairfield County guys. Jack Book trying to fight between two Indians, and a timeout called here with 1:13 to go.
I think luckily for Jack Book, that timeout was called. He was being picked up by the Manhasset defense.
10-7 the score. Darien leads Manhasset. We're back right after this. You're watching the FCAC on the HAN Network.
Can't wait for it to get warmer so you can start fishing again? Get over to the Dock Shop, where they have the latest in fishing tackle, marine electronics, boating supplies, and more. But remember, the Dock Shop isn't your average tackle shop. You'll also find the finest selection of nautical apparel, jewelry, home decor, and gifts in New England. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Welcome back to Ridgefield. 10-7 the score.
A couple of Darien defensive players broke out of their huddle a little bit ahead of schedule there.
It happens.
It does. They got most of the way to the goal before they realized they were the only ones leaving.
Some players are so excited to get back on the field, they will do anything they can. That was the case. We hope you stay for game number 2, scheduled for 3:30. You'll stay for game number 2.
I will, but I will not be on the headset. I will be pushing buttons off to my right here.
You may wind up back on the headset before the broadcast is over, though. We'll see. .113 to play, a 10-7 Darien lead, and Hudson Hamill with the ball. And Hudson Hamill with an empty net.
Needless to say, Rob, it's pretty easy to score when there's no goalie in the net.
That will be, that does make it a hair easier. It was an aggressive call for sure, but it went in favor of the Blue Wave. .108 to go, and Haggerty right back in net. Manhasset gets the win. And another timeout called for by Bill Cherry. 59.7 to go, and you're chasing 4. It's a lot to do. We'll take a break. Up 4, Darien on top of Manhasset. 1 minute to go on the HAN Network.
The HAN Network is the leader in local broadcasting in Fairfield and Westchester counties. We reach tens of thousands of viewers via our live news, sports, and entertainment broadcasting. We can create your advertisement and broadcast it through our programming to one of the most affluent markets in the United States. And remember, our broadcasting is live, which means viewers cannot skip or click past your marketing message. And we measure our audience and their demographics on every broadcast. To advertise on the HAN Network, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back in Ridgefield, 59.7 remaining in this one. Manhasset needs 4 after the aggressive play to pull the goalie resulted in a Darien goal. Schneider now throws it back out. Miller, nearly a turnover. Schneider, and he scores with 38 to play.
You can only do it one at a time, but time overall not on the Indian side.
So 11-8 now, and just over a half minute to go. Can't get too excited until they make it 11-9 and 11-10. Still, the face-offs, essential. They had the win, and they get the win. Miller went down. He's still down. Now they got to blow the whistle, and indeed they do. With 28.1 to play, he does come back up. The senior goes off under his own power, 5'10", 190, heads over to the sideline.
He was absolutely wrecked by Hudson Hamill. I was a little surprised that wasn't a flag thrown on that. It looked like Hamill had actually hit him in the head. But the men in the striped shirts felt differently.
They get the final word. There's Jack Book with 20 seconds to go. 11-8 the score. Just playing keep away. Now he throws it back. And that should be enough to count it out. Niffin's got it. They call off the Dogs with 2 and 1, and this one's going to be in the books. Final score. The Darien Blue Wave 11, the Manhasset Indians 8.
Yeah, Tony's Deli is open in the cabana. Hot dogs, hamburgers, cold drinks.
And a solid job done by the Blue Wave today. Never let that score get much closer than really 2. Yes, 1-0, 2-0 early on, but then 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2, 6-4 was about the last time that this was truly a close game, and that was late second quarter.
And just top to bottom, Darien controlled really every phase of this game. More effective with their ball movement on offense, letting almost nothing through from Manhasset on defense, more aggressive and more consistent in the transition game in the midfield. Face-offs went to Darien. Better shots went to Darien. Most of the penalties went to Darien. It was just Blue Wave top to bottom here.
It was Blue Wave top to bottom. They pretty much controlled it and got the win. And for the Blue Wave, they do improve on the year now. So another win for the Blue Wave. And for Manhasset, their first loss of the season. But for Darien, now 5-0 overall, and Manhasset drops to 6-1 on the year. Game number 2 coming up in just a little bit will feature the Ridgefield Tigers, the hometown team, as they take on the Garden City Trojans. Now what we'll do is we'll treat this as 2 separate broadcasts. We'll put this one in the books. then you want to refresh your browser, whether it be on your smartphone, your tablet, your computer, your carrier pigeon, whatever works for you.
Your toaster? I have a smart toaster.
See, there you go. Your smart refrigerator, whatever it takes. Do that, regroup, and come on back for us to join you in just a little while. And we look forward to you rejoining us.
As do I.
Any final thoughts while I wait for the theme song?
This was despite the score and despite me saying just minutes ago that Darien really dominated, this was a really solid game. I think that Manhasset didn't get blown out shows you that they are one of the top programs and the talent they do have. Kevin Mack was the offense. Though it's a loss you never like to lose, I think Manhasset's going to be okay.
I think Manhasset will be just fine. Darien just played a better game. Jack Book, Colin Minikis a couple of times, Kevin Mack, Kevin Lindley, Mack again, Jack Book, Edward Arnold, Colin Minikis again, Kevin Lindley, Jack Niffen, Gillen Caliendo, Jack Niffen, Jack Miller, Kevin Mack, Hudson Hamill, Steven Schneider. Those are your goal scorers. And I think, Eric Gendron, an in-house note here, I got to throw the music over to you to wrap it up. So thanks to all of you for joining us for game number 1. Game 2 in just a little bit as Ridgefield takes on Garden City. For our entire crew, including A.J. Simonowski, Eric Gendron, Josh Fisher, everyone here at Ridgefield High School, I'm Rob Adams. Thanks for watching and listening. Darien 11, Manhasset 8. You've been watching the FCAC on the HAN Network. We'll see you in just a little bit.
The preceding has been a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.